insane cheese pull. You might not know that I am a flexitarian. Today, I'm going to be making some mushroom empanadas. Great that they come out. I'm going to be using some oyster mushrooms. I just feel like they have a more meaty texture and will be perfect with the cheese and the deep fry situation that's going to be happening here. I'm actually not going to wash these mushrooms. Apparently, they lose a lot of nutrients that way. I don't want to chop them too much because mushrooms do lose a little bit of their size as they're being cooked. So you want really nice big chunky pieces. And chop one end and then the other. These onions are also going to reduce when they're being cooked. I'm a garlic fan. I have about 5 cloves of garlic, which I'm going to roughly chop. Honestly, maybe time to invest in a garlic grater, but I don't know. I find it therapeutic to actually chop my vegetables. Grab yourself a pan to put in some neutral frying oil. Make sure your pan is super hot before you add your onions. I would like to start out with a little bit of salt to my onions. There are no measurements. I eyeball everything. And some pepper, obviously. Mushrooms. I love to add my secret ingredient to all of my recipes. That is oregano. I just like to put on top of everything. Some adobo. Lots and lots of smoked paprika. It's going to give the mushrooms a really beautiful smoky flavor. At this point where you want to add your garlic, you don't want to add it at the beginning because you don't want it to burn. And the purpose of garlic is to add more depth and more flavor. If you burn your garlic, your dish could end up tasting bitter. At around the 8-minute mark, you can go ahead and lower the heat. Cook for the remainder 2 to 4 minutes. All right, y'all, the filling is done. Let's go ahead and build our empanadas.
Because I'm winging this recipe, I really don't know honestly truly how many empanadas this mixture really makes. Now, the queso that I'm using for my empanadas is queso for pupusas, so if you have a foreign market available near you, then just use this queso. I believe it's a variation of like shredded mozzarella. If you can't find pupusa queso, then you can definitely find mozzarella. Directions say to roll out the dough a little. I don't have a rolling pin, so I'm going to use this Presidente Cerveza that I just literally enjuagar a little bit in the fridge, and we're going to use this as my rolling pin.
Not too much now. And a good amount of that shredded cheese, y'all. Then I'm going to attempt to close them. This is what we got. I'm gonna poke little markings with a fork. First little empanada is done. The filling actually made about 6 empanadas. I'm gonna grab my air fryer, which is very tiny, in a little bit of aluminum foil. I'm gonna grease my pan with this canola oil and place them in opposite directions like this because I think this is the only way that they can fit here. Grab the canola oil once again, coat the top. They're nice and greasy. I'm gonna put them in the air fryer for 8 minutes. Now let's make our cilantro lime crema. You just need a bulk of cilantro, some lime, and some crema. After washing, go ahead and add it to a NutriBullet, a little small blender, a food processor, or whatever you got. Squeeze in that lime juice. Add the tiniest bit of the Maggi chicken bouillon cube. Do not add salt in this mix. Add a little bit of your crema and a touch of water. And just look at how beautiful and vividly green she is. If you have a weird soap gene, you might not like this one, but set it aside and put it in the fridge. You guys will not believe what just happened to me. My sauce that I ended up putting in the freezer, when I opened up the freezer to put in my remaining empanadas, it just fell and made an entire mess on my kitchen floor. So now I don't have my cilantro crema. Make sure that you flip them halfway through. I put them in there for 8 minutes, but because I spilled my cilantro crema, I forgot to flip them halfway. I'm gonna grab a little bit of the remaining crema that I have, and I'm just gonna put a little bit so I can have something to dip my empanadas with. Wow. That is an insane cheese pull. If you tried this recipe, let me know how you like it in the comments. This is really freaking good, and I know what to hit with the cilantro crema. Oh.